afternoon, dolls. Welcome to another episode of Chat and Dash. I know it has been quite a while, but it is so worth it because today we're on the most beautiful space ever. We are at La Pergola at 44 Stanley. It is absolutely beautiful, and we've got some nice lighting coming in. The vibe is just absolutely beautiful, and today I have the most beautiful lady ever. Her name is Nomzamo Zondi, and she is the founder and the owner of this beautiful space. Hello.
Hi, gorgeous lady.
Hello. So I've had the honor and absolute privilege of meeting her in our space. I met her at Lash and Dash. She is a client. She comes through for her lashes. I met her here in her space and discovered that this is her beautiful space, and I needed to get her on an episode on here. So thank you so much for making time.
Thank you for the invite. I really appreciate it.
Thank you. And I know that you're a dope and an amazing lady, and I wanted everyone else to also get to know you and also get to know the space here. I'm sure a lot of people have come here, walked by, and had no cooking clue that this is the amazing lady behind it. So I would like you to please share with us as to how you have created the space. But before we get into that, who are you and where is Nomzamo from? Who is this gorgeous lady?
Well, my name is Nomzamo, as you've mentioned. I'm a bit nervous.
It's okay, me too, guys. It's been a while since you've been on here.
I'm from Guamash originally in KZN, but I've been in Johannesburg since I was 20 years old, just after university. I came here to work in advertising, so I was in advertising for more than 14 years.
Wow.
Just changing agencies because that's how it works.
Yes.
And then I took a break. I had my kids. So I am Nomzamo, a businesswoman, a mother, as well as a wife, and a friend, which is mostly important.
That's so nice. And how old are your children?
I have a 14-year-old boy and a 15-year-old, so it's two boys.
Wow.
And they're both teenagers, so can you imagine?
Girl, you look so good.
Thank you,
You
just
look
like
amazing.
you, my lady.
Thank you so much. And then just for context, can you share your age with the dolls that are watching?
I'm 42 years old.
No.
1983, yes.
Wow.
That's the year I was born in.
That's amazing. So you are from KZN?
Yes, I am.
Guamash,
From Guamash, yes.
Oh.
That's my home.
That's your home. Okay, I love that. And how did you find yourself in the food industry? Can you take us through that story of how we are here enjoying some tea? And I've also ordered food. It's coming.
So it's very interesting, Sims, that you should ask that. I kind of fell into it accidentally. My husband has hospitality background.
Okay.
That's his upbringing. So he's from Austria in Europe. That's his upbringing. So his family, they always had hotels and they had restaurants when he was growing up. But he decided to leave home when he was 16 and he moved to London. So fast forward to how I ended up with La Pergola is that during COVID, we had both just taken a break from the jobs that we had, and we wanted to just kind of rediscover ourselves. So while we were sitting and cooking in the house, an idea came up that, we could just extend this to one of our favorite spots.
So you guys cook like this at home?
we tried to cook like this at home, yes. So that is how we started La Pergola. And after we were here for a year, we opened up in 2022. He decided to leave the country, and I was like, I'm not going to leave South Africa, and I stayed behind. And staying behind, I had to take over the baby solely, which was the accidental part.
Oh wow.
I was nervous, clueless, but I knew that I had to make this work, and we're here today, 3 years old.
Wow, that's incredible. This is a beautiful space.
Thank you.
And so obviously you've always had like the passion in the food space.
Yes, I've always had the passion in the food space and the way I would cook at home. And you remember during our times when we were growing up in the 90s, 2000s at school, we used to have home economics. So I had taken that out.
Home egg, right?
Yes, home egg. I know they don't have it these days. So the passion of cooking has always been there. But also the passion of business and passion of just making people feel good. When people come into a space, I just focus mostly on energy and how people feel when they get here. It's not only about the aesthetics, but it's also how the team treats them. And then that extends into the food. So when I took over La Pergola, which is Northern Italian, by the way, and you'd
Northern
ask,
Italian.
yes, and you ask yourself, a South African woman, an Austrian man, and then Northern Italy. So we all love Italian food, right?
Okay, yeah.
But why Northern Italian? It's because of the landscape, which is the Alps mountains. So the food is very distinct. It's not similar to most of the food we have here in Southern Africa in terms of Italian food, which is mostly from the southern parts of Italy. So that's why we have your lamb bucos that are not made in a lot of sauce. Instead, our sauces are made with jus, which is mainly made with wine based.
The red wine.
Yeah, red wine or white sauce based sauces. Yes. So the food is mainly like that, and then we have the chicken piccata, which is very similar to Austrian schnitzel. And we focus on Northern Italian because the cuisine is very similar to Northern Austria.
Okay.
Yes. And then I was like, okay, fine, this is exciting, Northern Italian cuisine, but I had to bring in something that is an extension of me. So we are we're kind of transitioning a bit, trying to add other elements to the business. So it's basically bringing in the treatment of Ubuntu. So I always say when people come to La Pergola,
Feel that, yeah.
yeah. So when you come to La Pergola, you must feel like you're sitting. If you're under the pergola specifically, this is a pergola, you must feel like you're sitting at your grandmother's back room or
like
your stupin, yes, and then someone is coming to offer you a hot, warming meal. But the conversations and the way you're being treated must feel like you are grounded and you're at home.
And that's exactly what you do experience. Like when I've come here, I'm always like, oh, this is so nice. As a business owner, there are a lot of challenges that we do experience. And I think especially having to juggle motherhood and with work as well. Could you share some, or maybe just one or two of the experiences that you maybe have faced in your business, and how did you overcome them?
Two. It's like 1,000. It would be the reviews that one gets at times,
So
especially
the reviews that come in.
Yes, Google reviews, because they kind of shape your business. The first thing that people do, they will always go and Google your restaurant or look it up on social media and see if they would want to actually come through. So initially, because I was also just starting up, we made a couple of mistakes, and also because most of our main dishes are unique. So sometimes guests will be like, I don't want my food to be like this, I expected something else. So it's more re-educating guests or educating them about what you're serving and why you serve it in a certain way. But those reviews, I've kind of used them to propel the business as well. So I get the feedback. As much as it hurts, I go back with my team and I say, okay guys, maybe we can improve in this. And myself as an owner as well as a leader, I also look at myself as to how I can also implement what they are telling me to become better as a business instead of just taking it and just letting go.
So good feedback.
Yes.
Sometimes I know it does, especially in the beginning, it hurts. Like you get a bit of like, oh my god, offended, or you feel like, oh, like you blow it out of proportion in your mind. But there's always something to learn, I guess.
There's always something to learn, yes. And it's interesting that guests, when they've had an amazing time, they really write they really write reviews. But once something goes wrong, maybe the pasta is overcooked, they will definitely write a review. So the challenge of owning a restaurant is not part of my culture.
What's not part of your culture?
I mean, I'm not Italian, I am South African, and on top of it, I'm a black woman. So at times you might get guests that come in, and I don't usually want to expose who I am, because I also try to be hands-on at times. But if somebody does discover, they will kind of trick you at times in the questions they ask you or expectations. But I've learned how to handle them.
So I'm also very curious as to how you balance running this beautiful place as well as being a mom as well. How do you find that perfect balance? Because I know it is quite a lot. Like, what non-negotiables do you have that you're like, listen, this is what I need as Nomzamo to have so that I can be the best version of myself?
No, it sounds like an easy question, but it allows you to reflect, and I'm trying to reflect right now. Non-negotiables. For me, I always say that you mustn't do what you don't like, even if you're a staff member or a leader. There's a difference when you do something out of love. It just flows, and then other people kind of look into it. So I would probably say passion and how that is extended into consistency, into quality.
And what does self-care look like for you? What are your self-care rituals that, honey, that's your thing?
Okay, gym. Just taking time to go to gym, to meditate. I do yoga, Pilates, and I also just do body weight now and again.
You're a strong lady, Pilates.
Yes, I mean, trying to keep things intact, I suppose.
You look good though. You look
thank
so
you.
good.
Thank you. But it has to be lash and dash for me.
Oh.
Whenever I send that text, I'm always like, ladies, I hope you can squeeze me in. And like, okay, we'll get back to you, Nomzamo. And then every time they always make a plan for me. So there is always like those few hours where I can just go into lash and dash. I lie on the bed and I fall asleep for those few minutes. Because that's the time for me to really relax and switch off. I get my eyebrows done, my upper lips done, and I'm just in another space where it's just me. That's my me time.
Do you know when I met you, you gave me one of the best ideas ever. You were like, why don't you guys do sleeping pods?
Yes,
And
I always say the same thing.
I was like,
That would help so much. I'm sure there's a lot of people who actually love that experience. Because we are always running and rushing that we never really take time to just reflect and relax without being disturbed by anyone.
All right, so I can see in your rituals that you do value the care that you take for yourself. What is the importance of wellness to you? Like, what does that mean to you?
You put me on the spot, listen to that
I'm
question.
so sorry.
It's a bit hard to think of wellness. I mean, as business women, because we actually forget ourselves. We always think about our staff, we think about our kids. But wellness, to me, means just remembering who I am. You know, as just a Nomzamo, besides all of his other accolades. I mean, as a Nomzamo, what do I need? So just taking time to myself, even if I just have a glass of wine and I have a bruschetta and I just read a book, or maybe just go through my emails at that particular time, but I'm just able to just relax and be me. Also just taking walks. I sometimes just walk my dogs and that really does
So
help me a lot.
therapeutic.
Yes, it is therapeutic a lot. Because that's the only time that you feel like you're away from everyone and you just you're able to be just on your own.
Yes. Wow, that's important. Like, I'm such a self-care queen, and I always say, like, when it comes to wellness, because I mean, sometimes I think when we think of wellness, we think of it as this activity where you have to do something, go to the spa, go and do something. But for me, I think what I'm learning recently is like sometimes wellness is a decision. It's just saying, like, today I'm not going to answer my phone at a certain time, or it is I may have overcommitted to something, and maybe now I don't have the capacity, and maybe today just sending a message to say sorry, I can't make it. Like, that can be the wellness decision of it, right? And I know, especially like with kids, and I'm a single mom, so I'm balancing raising kids, raising a business, and then also I still need to have that time for myself. So I know that sometimes I agree to stuff, and then when the time comes, I'm like, oh no, I think I overcommitted. And then it's like maybe the wellness that day just looks like, sorry, girl, I can't make it, or yeah, whatever it may be.
So to you, it's more of saying no.
Sometimes,
yes.
Because I think previously I never knew how to say no. So it's empowering now to be able to say, like, I can't make it today. I'm sorry. Of course, you know, I don't want to make plans and let people get ready, but sometimes it's just being able to just saying no makes me feel a bit stronger, and that's taking care of my well-being for the day.
And it takes a lot to say no as a woman, as a leader, and as a mother.
Oh, having my favorite cocktail, guys. Having a margarita. Mwah. Oh my god, I'm choosing with the boss lady. Thank you for this beautiful experience.
Thank you.
Ooh. Girl. What can you tell the young black girl who's sitting at home and she's like, oh my god, she sees herself in you? What advice do you have for her? And coming from also an advertising background, you can also touch on that.
I think I did touch on passion initially. I think most young people these days have more options than we did way back then. We were just basically told that you have to go to school, you have to get into varsity, and then get a job or profession that's going to provide for you or your extended family if we have to. But nowadays, there's so many options. People are able to actually find career paths that are aligned to what they love.
Yes.
So I would always say that if there's one young lady sitting there and wondering what it is they want to do, they must just probably look at what makes them excited when they wake up, what kind of makes them click, and then try and work on that. It could be makeup, it could be dancing, but it's important to just do what resonates with you.
So true. So along your journey, I'm sure you've had some women who may have inspired you. Do you have mentors, and who have you looked up to in the space? Which females have influenced you? Even if you don't have access to them, like watching them, who are your go-to ladies?
There are so many that I actually observe that I haven't had the opportunity to meet. But my background, I'll start there. My grandmother, she inspired me. Gogo inspired me.
I can't wait to be a Gogo one day.
Yeah, she was so resilient. I know Gogo would also pray a lot. You know, so whenever there's challenges in business or in life, I always look at how I was brought up. He was always praying. I was raised by a teenage mother. She had me when she was 18 years old.
Wow.
So imagine coming from a strict family, and then she was taken to boarding school, and she came back pregnant. My mother is my biggest role model. That she didn't give up, and she chose to keep me. And I've always kind of worked from that space of I cannot let him down, because like the sacrifices she made. And I remember sometimes she would cry because she tried to make ends meet, but she still did it.
Was she a single mom?
Single mom, yes.
Yo, guys,
yes.
mothers.
Mothers or something else.
Mothers.
And what's interesting about, you can say, okay, there's single moms, but there's also single moms in marriage. Interesting enough, that's another topic that we never really talk about. I'm a single mom in marriage.
Please explain that for us. What does that mean?
Yeah, so
I love that.
So basically, since my husband is no longer around, I'm still married, yes, but he lives somewhere else. But I am in charge of everything. I take care of the boys. I cook for the boys. I finance the boys. I finance the business. I have to make things work. When things don't work, I have to find solutions. So a single mother in marriage. That's it. So, but I've been inspired by single moms who always know that when there's a challenge, they have no one else to call, but they have to look into themselves and see how they can actually bring solutions.
And that's really it. That you've just said it perfectly. Now you have to literally look within and see, okay, what can I? There's not even time to. It's like, what is the next resolute? Wow.
So it's very interesting. Yeah. So I think my role models, I wouldn't say it's someone that I see on social media, someone that I see online, or someone that I see on TV. Yes, those ladies do exist. But I mean, it's people that I meet on a day-to-day basis. It's people that I, like sitting here with you. I know you're a single mom, and I know you're hardworking, and you're doing amazingly great. I'm not even amazing. Okay, I'm missing my English, but you're doing amazing in your space. But you don't have someone to call and say, okay, I need help, that you do everything yourself. So it's me just observing other businesswomen who keep on going no matter what they're faced with, and that's what drives me, it inspires me. There's also other business owners here at Food for Standing that I look up to.
Outstanding.
Yeah.
I'm sure you must meet like a very different selection of people in the space here.
Yes, I do. It's quite international. There's people from all parts of the continent, people from other parts of the world. So it's very integrated, and that's what I do enjoy.
You do.
Yeah.
And then also, do you see the power in networking and collaboration?
Yes, you are teaching me that.
Oh,
actually,
really?
right now, yes. I'm a very,
I love that.
would I say closed off person? I love people, but I never know how to get out of my comfort zone. So this is my first experience where I'm actually interacting with another businesswoman. She's allowing me into a space. You're taking me out of my shell, basically.
I love it. I love doing that. I have to do that.
So, yeah. So I think I would love to, if I get into a space that is real and comfortable, where I can be myself, where I don't have to overextend.
Yes.
Yeah.
So collaboration is something that you are also leaning into.
Definitely. I have collaborated, probably not actually thinking that I was, not strategically, but I have collaborated with other ladies where they would say, Zamo, I'll come into a space and I'll book a table for X amount of ladies, I'll expose your brand, but at the same time, can you also offer me this? So those kind of collaborations, I suppose, yeah.
I love it. And speaking of collaboration, I think already as a business owner, you are already collaborating so much. The fact that you have a whole team that is here, that is you bringing people together and collaborating all the different skills. And something that Tutu mentioned earlier on that I think is very admirable is the fact that you even have families that work inside the business. Listen, honey, like you are putting food on plates, you are putting clothes on back, you are taking kids in school. That is something that I have to say, like, congratulations. That's like families, that's amazing.
So we have Peter is our main pizza chef. His wife is in the kitchen, she's a head cook.
Wow.
And obviously they met here at La Pagola.
They met here?
Yes. So we have a couple of staff
members. My husband is maybe here.
I'm sure actually we have a lot of babies that have been conceived after dinner here. Then we get stories like, actually I met my husband, or I met my fiance, or I met this amazing young lady, or whatever it is. But so it's a story of love, I guess.
Wow.
It's lovely to create a space where people can just come and interact and grow in that interaction. And then I have my sister who's now managing the restaurant.
So your sister also works in the business?
Yes, she just joined, and she's given me new new ideas because she's younger than me. So yeah.
Obviously, you having to open up your business to family. I know this because I also do that as well. There's a different openness that you need to have because a lot of people don't like working in family businesses or working with close people because you bring them into your business. How have you managed to be vulnerable, open up, and like still run a business? How do you still like be so kind and open? Because that's a big thing.
That's a big thing. You're right. I think it's if you have the same vision.
Okay.
Yes, if you have the same vision. My sister, when I speak to her, she kind of understands where I'm going and what it is that I want. So we're a bit more aligned in that. She's a people's person. She understands what it is that I want to achieve with this business. So I'm lucky in that sense. Same applies to my staff. Unfortunately, I've lost a couple of staff members that I felt that they were not aligned to our business values, which is humility, which is trust, and consistency in what we offer. But I think I'm blessed now that the ones that I have, we're a bit more aligned. And in that way, we can transfer our alignment to the experience that our guests have.
That's translated in the whole experience, right?
Yes.
And I think that's also the very like hard and sad part of business is when you have to like give warnings, when you have to chair a hearing, when we have to let the business do what the business has to do.
Because it's all about the business at the end of the day. I always tell them, I mean, you're here, they're here, but it's all about the business. You know, we have to sustain it, we need to grow it. And if you are not willing to actually to play part in that, then we just have to separate. But it's all about the business at the end of the day.
Now, I'd like to know, what advice do you have to a younger Nomzamo?
A younger Nomzamo, okay. I'll probably tell her not to forget who she is. Society has an ability to kind of reshape you and you kind of lose track. So as much as people can inspire you, which is so important, and people can give you feedback and then you can propel in that, but just don't forget your intuition. So I'll say, Zamo, what you feel and what you think of yourself is so important. Yeah, I think that's the best thing I would probably say.
That's beautiful. So to like maybe speak more gently and to believe in herself.
Believe in herself, believe in yourself. But also do acknowledge other people, because sometimes when you focus on yourself too much, you get to kind of treat others in a way that is not comfortable.
True.
So try to balance being whole as also being just acknowledging how other people think and how other people feel based on what you do when you interact with them. But just believe in yourself and trust yourself. Trust intuition. It will always guide you.
Always.
Yes, that's your spiritual guidance, I guess. Your spiritual GPS. That gut feeling. Because I also believe that in business, that sometimes you have a vision, you have an idea, but you have that feeling in your stomach that says, this will work out, this won't work out. And sometimes even when you're trying to transition or kind of bring in new ways or new strategies in your business, that also guides you. So I'll say that just listen to intuition.
Listen to intuition. That's beautiful. And what plans do you have for you, for Nomzamo in business? What visions and dreams do you have? I know we all dream big. Where do you see yourself taking this beautiful, amazing establishment? Or even, I know that you mentioned that you also have another business.
So I just want to collaborate my two businesses. So the other one is linen clothes. So it's very simple, but quality and sustainability, because linen is always sustainable, it's good quality fabric. So probably just taking some of what I do for Nomzamo Zondi and what I do at La Pagoda and collaborate it. So I'll start with the staff uniform, where they'll wear outfits that are made by Nomzamo Zondi. But at the same time, for me, it's just sustaining this business and leaving a legacy for my family, a legacy for my staff, a legacy for my boys. Wow. I don't know where they will take it, but I'm lucky that I have my sister here as well who's passionate about the business. So we'll see how everything folds out. But I just want to sustain the business. I'm not looking for fireworks, but I'm looking for consistency and mainly sustainability. That's beautiful. That's a beautiful vision. And I want to say thank you so much for allowing us to come into your space, for being able and opening up to this, because I know you had mentioned that this is not something you normally do, and I love taking people out their comfort zone. Thank you. Oh my goodness.
That is where we grow, and that is where we get to like explore a different side. And I hope that in 10 years, a year, but also 10 years from now, we can look back and we can say, oh my God, look what we did. when we can be like, wow, look at this. Like, I hope we speak things into existence. And I think let's not downplay what you're doing right now. Being a black woman in the food industry at this standard at which you have created, I'm even getting goosebumps just thinking about it. Like, this is already generational. Like, already your sons are going to grow up knowing that their mom did this in such times. That is something that I think is very commendable, and I want to give you your flowers and say you're doing amazing. You are inspiring young black women like myself. When I look at you, when I look at what you're creating, and also the amount of grace that you ooze, the way you move, the way you walk. I mean, when I met you, when you came in, like, I would have never said, I just said, oh my God, he has a goddess. But then to also come in that same week and find out that you own such a space, it made sense. And thank you. And I'm happy that my girls have women like you to look up to and know that, like, the sky is the limit. There's so many things you can achieve. I'm proud of you, and I can't wait to see what else in life you're going to do, especially with the linen business. Just anything you touch, your mindset is beautiful, and I'm happy to know you, and thank you for this.
Thank you so much. Thank you for taking me out of my comfort zone and thank you for sharing your amazing skills with us and just welcoming other business owners into your space and allowing us to be. Thank you so much.
It's a pleasure. Thank you, ladies. So thank you so much for joining our episode today. Please don't forget to comment, to like, and to subscribe to our channel. Also, if you would like to be on this platform, if you know a very amazing businesswoman that needs to be seen and heard, drop us a message below, and we'll definitely love to explore and collaborate. Until then, we'll see you next time. Bye.